What is up, everybody? Welcome to the very first GoodeBaker's podcast. I'm Nick Baker. Across from me, my good friend Shane Good.
What's up?
We are here to talk your ear off about games and stuff. All right. Well, first things first, let's introduce ourselves. Like I said, my name's Nick Baker. I work at a bakery, making the donuts every day. Figured we'd try this side thing, talk to you about some video games, our passion, our most beloved thing in the world. What about you, my man?
Well, my name's Shane Good. I do a lot of different things. Unfortunately, nothing too specific, so this is gonna just be a fun thing for me. I'm the PC gamer of the group, so I'll have some more specifics on specs and releases for computer related stuff, but we'll meet in the middle, I think, pretty decently with, our common platform games, if you will.
Right. Yeah, man, console is a bit more my forte. I definitely dig into that PS4. That's my main game system. Love the Switch as well. Not too much of an Xbox guy. I've dabbled a little bit in PC, but you know how it is. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into what's exciting now. The first thing I wanted to bring up was obviously Days Gone.
Yeah.
Days Gone's coming out next week, Friday, same day as Avengers, but I'm gonna obviously take some time out of that day to play some Days Gone. This game looks insane. What have you seen?
As a primarily computer gamer, I haven't seen a ton about Days Gone. As for viewers, listeners, as you will, I have an Xbox One. I have a PS4. I have a lot of classic consoles, but I primarily stick with the PC. But there just isn't a ton about it on PC. Obviously, as a Twitch goer, I like to look at, what people are playing, and they haven't really even shown, like, any real early access. No big streamers have gotten keys for it.
Right.
So I'm in the dark about a majority of it.
So there has been a few things that IGN's put out as far as gameplay. The gameplay looks really awesome, fun, fast, zombies everywhere, things exploding, tons of fun. There's crafting. Obviously, your motorcycle is where it really gets cool. Obviously, we got our motorcycle licenses last summer together. It was super, super fun. I'm excited for that reason. It really brings out a character-driven story in that post-apocalyptic landscape that I haven't seen really since Last of Us. In a game itself is just. It looks out of this world, and I can't wait to just go around that crazy zombie-infested landscape. Well, excuse me, freakers. They're not actually zombies.
Oh, they're not zombies.
No, they're still alive, apparently. They're a part of this new horde pack AI that can read your movements, and when they're chasing after you, you'll start to go into one direction, and they'll try to flank you from that direction, or they'll come bursting from a train car, and you have to slow them down with some explosives or some gunfire, and it looks like a hell of a time, man. And I just can't wait for next Friday. And the main character himself, he kind of at first struck me as like, oh, who the hell is this guy? His name's Deacon St. John, and he really kind of strikes you as like, all right, who's this trailer park reject at first? But, as you watch some of these trailers and you see the performance by the guy that mocap's, name escapes me right now, I can't figure it out, but he really looks like he's going to be doing a great job. I can't wait to sink my teeth into that story and really get deep into those weeds. But, really thirsty for some zombie action.
What? Sure. Freakers. Calm down.
Freakers.
Yeah,
Freakers,
don't,
right.
But that sounds pretty good. It's open world. We got freakers. There's motorcycles, guns. I mean, shit, that just sounds like Just Cause 3 with better AI.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the AI is really where this is going to shine. The freaker hordes are just, they look like so much fun to fight, and I think that is really where the game is going to shine. But also there are human enemies that are going to be even more strategic and smart when it comes to fighting you from any different direction, and setting traps like tripwires to knock you off your bike while you're screaming down a street being chased by zombified freaker wolves. But man, yeah, next Friday is going to be a blast. One thing I actually wanted to continue on with is the Xbox, or former Xbox exclusive, now it came to PC not too long ago, is now coming to Switch today. Cuphead.
Yes, Cuphead is it is one of the more frequent talked about when people are like, you get, what is it, Dark Souls 3, I'm gonna butcher the name, Sekiro.
Yeah, Sekiro.
Yo, and Cuphead. I mean, I feel like those are the leading games right now, and like, here's a game to make you break your controller.
Exactly, dude. It's gonna make me snap my Switch Joy-Cons in half, which I've been waiting for a game like that, because man, there's really not much on there that's much of a challenge, and I've been excited about this game since it came out on Xbox, and I saw the graphical style. I'm a big fan of that 1920s cartoon-esque style. Excuse me. And it really, really soaks me in, and I really can't wait to sink my teeth into that. Like I said, it comes out today for the Switch. Probably gonna pick it up a little bit later. It's $20. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, bullet hell action, and you're a little cup dude. You fly around fighting all these crazy bosses. It's like a boss rush mode, and yeah, it looks like a hell of a lot of fun.
So, do you know have you done any like research on like the artistic side of like where they got their influences from, or?
Like I said, I think it is a really 1920s cartoon style. Everything is hand-drawn, hand-animated, which can't only imagine takes forever to do.
I mean, look at us. We're doing a mic instead of video because it just takes too long.
Yeah, for sure. Let's the video will come later. So as for Cuphead, man, cannot wait to get my hands on this game. It looks really, really fun. Obviously, people have been raving about it for the past year or so, however long it's been out.
Super good game. Super solid.
It looks super tight. Anyway, so what are you looking forward to, man? What's going on?
So I got Risk of Rain 2 is kind of like, it's on my radar. I've been playing it a little bit.
This is PC exclusive.
Yeah, this is PC exclusive. It's on Steam right now. I believe it's $20 in early access right now. They don't have a release date for it yet, but you can pick it up for early access. It came out at some point like last week, I think. But the whole premise of the game is just this, you know, it's the next game to want to make you break your controller, if you will. It's this hardcore idea of an RPG where instead of a storyline, you kind of just take the storyline and throw it out the window and just on rolls this hearty gameplay of just like, you fight, you die, you revive, you unlock maybe one or two new things every time you die. And when you fight again, you have the ability to find those one or two new things in the world, and the environment itself is an open world where you go through difficulties. You go through an easy difficulty, and that's kind of like one planet, and you fight the monsters on the planet, and then you fight the boss. And as once you're done fighting the boss, you go to like a teleport area where it teleports you to the next planet, and it's kind of like you sit there, and when you're sitting there, like big hordes of enemies come through, and you can pick up like turrets, you can pick up enemies, you can pick up like just different things to kind of like help you along with it, and you can kind of expand and create an army, and there's a lot of just like very like Binding of Isaac-esque little items you could pick up that mean like they're just random stuff. Like crowbars make you go faster. Like it's kind of like weird stuff. Like crowbars don't,
right?
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, just strange weapons. And
yeah, but it's kind of like it's got a good comedy to it. It's a light game, but it can get really difficult due to the fact that there's no real end. It's just like you go until you die, and then once you die,
it seems similar to Cuphead in that way, where it's like it throws this really like innocent aesthetic towards you, and then just bashes your head in with this difficulty.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely what it is. Easy mechanics to pick up, easy game, until you get one shot. You know, until you
that's
you get
about
one
it.
Shot. But yeah, I mean, offsole on the whole like Days Gone kind of aspect. Not to jump back to that, but like I know the graphics on that's supposed to be really good, which kind of like, you know, the graphics, the AI. I wonder how it's going to compare to The Division 2, where like right now The Division 2 is super hot. It's got really good graphics. You know, PC, console, doesn't matter. They're very comparable right now. I wonder how the AI is going to compare to the Black Zone. Is that
Dark Zone?
The Dark Zone, yeah, the Dark Zone. Because their AI is it's pretty good. I mean, I've played a decent amount of it. What do you think?
So we both played. You played on PC. I played on console.
Right.
On PS4. Division 2, man. Let's just get this out of the way first. Great game. Love that game. Ubisoft did a killer job. I think that they're really pushing the envelope as far as looter shooters go. The loot in the game is just so like dense. There's so much of it, and like you can get legendary guns, and you can get blue guns, green guns, purple, yellow, orange, you know, whatever. And the main crux of the game, I feel like, is the end game, and the end game includes that Dark Zone, like you said, and I feel like it's really going to get intense once we get that. Like I just reached cap. I don't know where you're at.
I'm in the 20s right now. I'm not quite at cap, unfortunately. The Risk of Rain and other things have, you know,
right, taking your
look, controlled the battlefield a little.
But like the Division 2, man, this game is just insanely good. I've played probably like 30 or so hours of it now, and
pretty solid amount.
Yeah, and I just finished up some of the strongholds there. I think I got like 1 or 2 left until I can finally unlock that sweet specialization. I think they have like a 50 caliber sniper,
Ooh.
a crossbow, a grenade launcher. I think they said that they were going to add something else later on. I'm not sure. I can't quite remember, but
grenade launcher in that PvP like that PvP setting.
Man,
I don't know if I want to walk around the corner and take the noob tube.
Yeah, only level to noob tube, man. It's man, like you said, graphics are insane. They have, you know, they still have a little bit of hiccups with like some pop in on console. I don't know how that is on PC for you, but yeah, the pop in is sometimes a little jarring.
Mm-hmm.
But they've really done a lot on console to patch it up. What's it looking like on PC?
I mean, so on PC, I have a pretty good rig. I've got, you know, just for the people who care, if you will.
Go for it.
I've got an i7 60K. It's nothing special. It's not current gen or anything like that. But it's a good, you know, it's a good solid processor. I'm rocking a 1066 gig. Again, it's not top of the line, but I've never had any hiccups with it. 2 Kingston sticks, 8 gigs of RAM, 16 total. You could throw anything at that thing and it'll handle it pretty well.
Right.
I play the game on, I wouldn't say, like, I play it on custom, but it's max custom. I take out the fading effects for just a couple of things because I don't like the way it looks in buildings. But as for draw distance, popping in, popping out, I mean, the game's beautiful. Yeah, like, it's really, like, hands down, beautiful game.
That's one thing that I have been really interested in the PC gaming side of things, is the ability to slide things up and down.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever you want, you can go in there and just fiddle with whatever kind of graphics that you want to just sync down. So like say you don't want to have that slower frame rate pop in, you can just slow down, like roll down one of those tickers and pop your frame rate back up, and it looks brand spanking new, man. It's great.
It's definitely it's got its place. A lot of games now too, which the Division has it, but it's not like specifically good because it's kind of a technology that is not super in, but it's kind of like a budget mode where you can set it to the FPS you kind of want it to look like, and it does its best to keep you capped at that as you're moving. So, you go into a building, it's a closed-in area, it loads all the details, and then it makes everything, like the loading phase of the initial buffer is a little blurry, but once you actually get into the building, it smooths it out really nice, and it kind of keeps you capped, so when a bunch of enemies come in, the textures kind of start to, they fade a little bit, but it keeps you at that 60 frames a second, which, let's be honest, all us PC players, all we care about is our 60 frames.
You're raving about it all the time. But, man, the Division 2, I can't get enough of it. I've been playing it for, like I said, the past few weeks, just getting right into the weeds of it, and, man, can't wait to see what they have lined up for the end game. Just barely dip my toes into that. I don't think either of us have that experience in the Dark Zone, unfortunately, but I think in the next coming weeks I'm really going to get shoulder, eye deep into that for sure. So, speaking of games that compare PC and console, this week this big news came out from a Wired article. The PS5 specs have been released. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at the PS5 specs right now, and I'm also looking at the rumored PS5 specs. So, I mean, as the console player, I feel like I should let you take the lead for the beloved PS5 specs. Oh yeah, man. So what they lined out here, Mark Cerny had an interview with Wired. Did not source the guy's name. Forgot. My apologies, dear Wired writer. But at this time, they've announced that PS5 is going to have backwards compatibility with PS4. That's number one. Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But Spider-Man in 8K. Oh, Spider-Man in 8K. That's the next thing. Is 8K output. I don't think it's really gonna hit home with a lot of people, the 8K at first, but I mean, it's good to have that future proof. Well, I mean, look at, so what, it took us 2 years from 4K to kind of see a 4K TV in most homes. So I think by the time everything hits, depending on what they release with, right, I think it's still really there are a lot of 1080p displays out there still. 4K is, like you said, really starting to become more prominent, but I haven't even seen an 8K display yet, so I imagine it's probably ridiculous, but it's just one of those things that I think future proofing is in the best interest of Sony for this next gen console. The next thing was the solid state drive that's going to reduce those loading times. There's a comparison video of actually Marvel Spider-Man loading it on a PS4 Pro. It's taking, the fast travel time is 15 seconds. And you see Spidey there, and he's in the train car, he's waiting, he's doing whatever he's doing, reading a magazine or whatever. But on top, they have just the dev kit, which is, according to Mark Cerny in this interview, says it's the slow version. Ooh. Takes 0.8 seconds. That's, I mean, I see load times like that all the time, but that's pretty good. Well, I mean, hey, us console guys, man, this is exciting stuff for us. We're looking at our 55-inch 4K screens, and we're like, yeah, I could probably go get a coffee, go do this, but 8.8 seconds, and there's not a whole lot we can really do in that amount of time. I can't even pick up your phone in that amount of time. So you're right in that game. You're immersed, and I'm really excited to see what, especially what this means for game design. Like as far as fast travel. Fast travel's always been a thing where you're like, oh well, here to here, it's gonna take me this amount of time to do this, or it's like in the Division, for example, you see that ticker up in the left hand. You could be there for a good 15, 20 seconds too. It's those worlds are so immense and so detailed that it take such a long time to restructure when you load back in that hopefully they can really put that to some baller use. But as for other features they said to have had in this, it also is sporting ray tracing and 3D audio. Now ray tracing, you're probably pretty familiar with, but
the RTX line.
Yeah, the RTX graphics card.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I know about it is everything I know about it is from what I watched Jack Frags do. He got all these.
What a legend.
Yes. Praise be to Jack Frags. I love Battlefield too. We'll talk about that in future episodes, I'm sure. But the ray tracing, from my knowledge, anyway, it's the ability to either track light or have light sources go through things, or it's pretty much just a new way to bring lighting effects into games in a more fidelic way, if that's a word.
It is now.
Yeah.
It's definitely. I think when it comes down to lighting, especially in video games, it's super important that you get a good, accurate lighting, and the RTX, or what do they call the retrace for what they're calling it for the PS5 will be. It's going to make a really big difference in just like the way that you're able to interact and really be immersed in the environments. And I mean, we saw, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but a couple years back, NVIDIA did a Titan kind of showcase with that's their top of the line graphics card. They did 4 graphics cards, top of the line, hooked together, which was 12 gigs apiece. So a total of, 48 gigs of graphics to live render a girl crying. Like a 3D model of a girl crying, and that was kind of their premiere or idea of like this new lighting idea. And I mean, it was live render, which is insane for where we are in graphics. Like they were able to change like what she was doing on the fly live, and then they also the character, you could not tell unless you were staring at it an inch away that this was not like a real person. Yeah. Just the way that they're able to use technology.
It brings me back to all those times back in the early days of E3 when they used to throw out the polygon faces on the screen. It's like, oh, this is the new hottest thing, man. It looks so real, and this is the first 3D, and to think back then to see how far we've come is just amazing. And that's really why these new consoles always get me super jazzed up. I can't wait to see and hear about the newest specs and stuff, even though these specs are ambiguous at best, and they're obviously they're subject to change, and this console, we're probably not even going to see any substantial activity from Sony for at least another year or so on the marketing side of things anyway.
Yeah.
But, it's really exciting to actually see them talking about it and see the system architect for the PS4, Mark Cerny, and now apparently a system architect for PS5 talk about these things and really get into the minds of people that this is where consoles are going, and consoles are still alive, and that really makes me excited.
I think the closer and the further out we get, PCs become less not necessarily like there, but I think the gap between consoles and computers are just they're gonna close and close and close to the point where most of everything will either be, cross-platform or cross-play at least, and then on top of that, like, it's really just going to be the difference between people who like keyboards and people who like controllers.
Right.
So,
and man, nothing beats those sticks. Like I tried your rig a couple weeks ago, and it was, admittedly, everything is super snappy, super fast, and that's really what I'm hoping that these new consoles bring, is that same PC snap and that quick load time, and it's super excited about that stuff.
Well, definitely super excited to see how they're like what's gonna happen with graphics, and as for like the let me see exactly who it is. There are people who have speculated kind of like what things could be on like Tom's forums and Reddit and stuff like that, and a lot of the big speculations are like obviously they already spoke to the Ryzen processor, the Zen 2, which is, I mean, coming from a computer aspect, it's a good processor. It's better than mine. It's going to be 8 cores physical, 16 cores hyper-threaded, 3.2 gigahertz, which is, like, that's nothing to shake a stick at. That's pretty good, especially for a not water-cooled system. It's just going to be fan-cooled. They have not said anything about this graphics card, which I'm super stoked about. Like, I love graphics card. This is gonna be like
PC porn, man.
Oh man, it's gonna be fantastic. And for like the memory, it's speculated somewhere between 24 and 20 gigs. Coming from like just strictly understanding how motherboards work, I would probably say they're gonna go with 24 because 20 gigs, they don't make 10 stick gigs, and most of the PlayStations have been made on micro boards. So like I would say 24. They're saying 2 terabytes of hard drive space, which I'm curious to see like what they're gonna do. Some hard drive, some SSD, switch your games back and forth.
So while we're getting speculative, I think that it is good to talk about like what kind of size of hard drives are these things gonna have, because games are just getting enormous now.
Dude,
like Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption 2, man, it came out at a whopping 100 gigs last year. And
yeah,
man, I can only imagine what their next game, GTA 6. There's been rumors about that flying around this week.
I mean, we're speculating. Come on, GTA 6 PS5. I'd buy one for that.
Launch. Please launch with that game. Oh man, it would be so sick. But I think that's pushing it. But I think it's a little ways out anyway. But what are the hard drives on these things going to look like? It's got to be. I mean, we're bumping a terabyte on my PS4 Pro in the other room now, and I'm still constantly having to switch them out and switch them out and switch them out, delete things, add things.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like I think the further out we go, the easier space is to create, and especially like. For computers, a 4 terabyte hard drive it's like $100.
Yeah, man.
I mean, SSD is a little different, but even you can go like there's kind of an in between of that hard drive and SSD. There's a hyperdrive, which is
hyperdrive sounds cool.
It does sound cool, but it's kind of like it's a little faster, but it's not.
Right.
It still has a spinning, like a physical disc.
I feel like that's kind of the problem that we've run into now with consoles and PCs as well, is that the incremental increase in power is just that, it's incremental. So that when we jumped from the original PS4 and the Xbox to the now Xbox One S and X to the PS4 Pro, it's just, some load times are a little bit quicker, the UI is a little bit snappier, but really doesn't like plunge forward with a lot of power that you'd expect from like a mid-cycle refresh. Like I obviously was day one on those PS4 Pros, but it's just because I'm a Sony fanboy and I love that shit. But
that's fair.
The next gen of consoles, I think, is really going to have to push that envelope, and from what these specs are saying, little underwhelming at this point. Like you said, the graphics card hasn't been announced yet, and these 8 cores could possibly be something that could push that envelope too. And I'm just, it's a wait and see kind of attitude right now. And these announcements, I think, are just more of Sony being like, hey, we're still out here, we're still shooting things around. Xbox may be doing all these plays, but we're still doing our best.
Well, I mean, as not to jump topics super quick, but you mentioned Xbox, and we it can't go without saying the new Xbox price without a hard drive. And that also, you hit me with 2 spots there, because I wonder, I'm almost like, does PS4 go without a hard drive? Or without a disk drive? Like, does PS5 just cut the disk drive altogether?
No, I'm not sure, but I did read the Wired interview. I'm pretty sure that they said somewhere in there that they were still gonna go with a disk drive for the PS5. So
there will be,
the physical media is still gonna be a thing in the next generation. But as far as Xbox goes, I'm not sure, because this new, like you said, Xbox One S, the discless edition, it's coming out at a whopping $250, which that isn't a big downtick from what I expected. Just simply because there are bundles with games included now that are $250 or $299 for the original Xbox One S, and that has a disc drive.
Yeah.
So it drives the point forward, like, what is Xbox's game plan for the next generation? If they're trying to test the waters with this discless Xbox, maybe their next gen will just go solidly digital and change the landscape of what they're doing for games.
Well, I mean, I can see where they could go that direction, especially with this whole idea of Microsoft as one. Is, we have the Xbox, we have the computer market for gaming industry, that is. I wonder if the whole idea is just almost like shared space. Like, I've heard, or I shouldn't say heard, because I've read it. On Reddit at that.
Right.
But there's people's ideas of like, well, I mean, they could always just host files that transfer between you, and you download your game on your computer, your game on your console, and you could switch in between the two flawlessly. And I mean, there are some games that can already do this pretty fluently. You've got, it's the pirate one.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, thank you. You've got Sea of Thieves.
See, I still know my Xbox.
Yeah. But you got Sea of Thieves that has that ability to just kind of like free flow in between the two. But I think, like, at the end of the day, I go on my computer, I download my game, I got quick internet, so it's downloaded. I feel like if I have a console and I am on my way home from work and I'm rushing, and I would just want to pick up that game really quick and then go home and play it. Yeah, usually there's going to be, like a patch and stuff like that, but I feel like that physical media it means something.
It does. I think it pumps the brakes on being a full digital future, just simply because of, like you said, the quickness and ease of just grabbing a disc, popping it in, and only having to worry about updates, maybe a little bit of an installation. But usually when you have that physical media, it front loads everything, so you can either play a certain mode easily enough, it'll just load that right up and download everything in the background. I think Call of Duty, the most recent Call of Duty, had something like that where you could play zombies or I guess not the campaign.
Yeah.
But they might have even been Blackout, but I'm not sure. You could play that mode first, and while the rest of the game downloaded, you could play through that, either solos, duos, or whatever. And still have a great time while your game is downloading. But yeah, with the discless drive, it could cause some troubles now. But if Xbox were to upgrade their power in their next generation of consoles, and they still had that discless, what's the word I'm looking for? Discless front. I don't know. We'll just go on. If they were still pushing that discless idea, I think that they could really just focus on that download speed maybe and get those games front loaded as easily as possible, and maybe just quicken that that gap, or shorten that gap, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one way to find out, and that's to just wait it out.
Yeah, man, wait and see. Another big thing that happened this week, I don't know how interested you are in Star Wars or the new movies or anything like that.
You know, that trailer did drop.
Yeah, The Last Jedi was kind of a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. I enjoyed it. It was alright. Some beats didn't really stick with me, but EA just announced with Respawn the new Jedi Fallen Order game coming out in November.
Oh,
well,
that's pretty quick.
It's it's going to focus on the times between the third movie and the fourth, and the Order 66, and what happens in between that time. You play a young Padawan who has to hide, and he's on the run from the Order 66 and the Empire that is trying to take out the Order. First things first, Jedis are the best thing about Star Wars, in my opinion. It's lightsaber battles, force powers.
Yeah, they got it going on.
It's awesome. And another game that's focused on that part of the Star Wars universe just excites me to no end. And really, that is where I think at least the video game side of Star Wars shines, is where you can have those skill trees of different force abilities, and you can go either the Sith direction or the Jedi direction. You could have force lightning, or you could have these incredible jumping abilities. And yeah, man, this game looks super great. If you haven't seen the trailer, I suggest you take a look. It's outstanding. The graphics look insane. Obviously, no gameplay yet, but I guess that's what they were planning on doing at EA Play. Is showing off a little bit of that. That'll probably be a main focus of their EA Play.
Well, it's not going to be Skate 4.
Alright, well, I mean, hey, hold out hope. They did have that indie skate game. What was it last year? I think it was...
Well, I mean, there's Skater XL. That's the PC one.
There was like, you know how EA does their indie program now. They had some skate game, I can't remember, but it wasn't Skate 4, and I think that's what everyone's clamoring for. You know, EA is such a money grubbing company that you think that they would go out there and be like, oh, Skate 4, here, give us your money. But
yeah.
Anyway, as far as the Fallen Order looks, it can't wait, man. Cannot wait. And the main character is the actor that plays the Joker in Gotham, if you've seen that show.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
I can't remember his name, but he did a great job as the Joker, and I think he's really going to be a good main character in this game. Oh, let's see. I think that's pretty much everything we have to talk about. It was kind of weird that we ended on that Star Wars talk, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
We got a lot of that PS5 stuff taken care of. I really main thing, PS5 is exciting the shit out of me. I'm just ready to go.
I mean, we'll definitely we'll get there, but
yeah, we
gotta get more specs out for it. Get kind of what's gonna happen with it, if you will.
Right.
But
all right, well, I think that's everything that we have today. As far as where to find us and what to do, we're going to pop up a YouTube channel, throw this on there. This GoodeBaker's Gaming YouTube channel is going to get off the ground, and we hope to see you all next week.
All right, well, peace.
Peace.